Hey guys, I'm making this video for a friend of mine's on how to wrap your hands for boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, kickboxing, or if you just want to hit the bag and get a good workout in. So the idea of using hand wraps is to protect your knuckles and to protect your wrist. When you hit the bag, if you're just starting or you couldn't possibly make a mistake, you don't want to hit the bag and have your wrist go back this way. Cause a good amount of pain in the back of your wrist, and it'll stop from training for a while. So you want to try and prevent that. A lot of guys take these hand wrap, put this around their thumb, and then they start the hand wrap and go around and do whatever they need to do. There's different ways to do this. This is just the way I like to do it. So I start off, I go around my fingers. The amount of times you go around your fingers is based on how much padding you want. So this is the reason why I do this. I'm creating some padding for my knuckles. This is the amount of times I do it, and then I do the whole hand wrap, and hopefully I finish at my wrist. If you don't finish at your wrist, you want to make less padding. That's pretty much based on how big your hand is. So at this point, I fold it in half here, and I put it across my knuckles. Now notice I'm using my thumb to hold it here, and I go in front of my knuckles. Notice there it's in front of my knuckles and not on the middle of the knuckles, because when you put it on the middle of the knuckles and you make the fist, sometimes it'll, as you're hitting, this will start riding up, and it'll take the padding away from the knuckles, and then you don't no longer have any protection there. So you want to put it in front of the knuckles. You're hitting with the front of the knuckles. You're not hitting with the top, so you're hitting with the front of the knuckles. Obviously, you go around here and go around the top. Now, the first time around, I like to go right in the center. At this point, you can release your thumb, and it should be fine. So, see, once again, there's nothing on the back of my hand. All the padding is in the front. I go around 3 times. The second time around, I overlap the back of the hand a little bit, and I don't go down the center. Then the third time, I do it on the bottom. So now I have a nice wide range here, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it helps keep it in place throughout the hand wrap. Alright, at this point, I go across the back of my hand down to my wrist. Alright, I make this X and I go up between my pinky and my ring finger. Now here, a lot of guys do this and then they go across the front of their palm. I don't like doing that. I like to keep my palm exposed, so I just go around my finger. And once again, I make another X. So instead of coming back down this way, I go here. I just go around the finger, go back down around my wrist. Notice I have that X there again. Now I come back up, go between my ring finger and my middle finger. Again, I go around the finger. I go Zerk. He really doesn't care much about this hand wrap, but once again, I make that X. Once again, I don't cover my palm. I used to cover my palm, but after my first fight, the hand wraps that they do for the fights don't cover your palm, and I really like the way that felt. So this is why I do it this way. I go around back behind the back of my hand. Now notice, every time I'm here, I pull, I tighten this. I don't tighten at this point. I want to tighten it while I'm making a fist. And come around the wrist, and then I loosen up and go around the next finger. Now the reason I do that is if you have it here and you pull and go around the wrist and then you make the fist, it'll be a little bit too tight and it'll cause your blood from moving around in your hand, and it can make your hand go a little numb, and it's not that comfortable. But anyway, so at this point, I close my fist, go around the wrist, and then come back up. Finally, I go between the middle finger and the pointer finger. Again, I make the fist, go around the back. Here, make that X again. Alright. Make that fist nice and tight. Now I finish up back with the pinky. The reason I finish with the pinky is because at this point I go around the pinky the way I did with all the other fingers, but I don't make the X. I come across the hand. Now the reason I do this at the very end is because all these other fingers are behind the hand, and at the very end when I go around the pinky and back across the hand, this last part keeps all of this other stuff in place. If you've already trained before, I don't know if you have this issue. I've had the issue before, but sometimes when you're training, your hand wraps loosen up, and it sucks to stop and have to redo them. So this helps from stopping and redoing your hand wraps. Finally, I go around the wrist again, and I finish up with the thumb. Now notice every time I pull to tighten, I make sure and have a fist going here. Finish up around the wrist, and this is about how much is usually left over, and I finish it up around the wrist. Now at the end here, I take this, I just push it up. It leaves more of my palm exposed. Again, there's no reason to have anything on the palm, or maybe there is, I just don't know of it, but this is the way I like it. I'm protecting the wrist, protecting the knuckles. This stops me from the wrist from going. See, I can still pull it down, but it's not that easy. And I got plenty of padding on my knuckle. Palm is exposed, and yeah, this is my hand wraps. Say hi, Zerk. Alright, and that's it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully it helps you, and go do some punching. Yeah.